Today, you're going to learn how to stay unaffected by people's perceptions of you after your ascension, when they're still relating to the old version of you that no longer exists. And here's the thing most people overlook. Even when you're doing the inner work and focusing on who you're becoming, there is a deeper layer to integration that most never address. And that's because the old version of you doesn't simply disappear. The old you lingers in other people's minds, in conversations, in memories. There is an energetic web of perception being broadcast through the collective field. And if even one unhealed aspect within you is still resonating with that old frequency being pinged out, it can take hold again until you fully anchor the consciousness of your new self. As a psychic and sensitive person, I could feel the astral cords from people tied to my old timeline. So it's family, longtime friends, or people I'd outgrown. And the tricky part was that I'd often mistake the energetic pull as something originating from me. I thought it was my doubt. I thought it was my hesitation. I thought it was my fear, when really it was their perception landing in my field. And through speaking with and guiding others on their journey, I've noticed the same pattern, and it's what I call an astral tug of war. It's a tension between the old timeline pulling you back through external influences and your new timeline that's calling you forward into your next level of embodiment. Hi, I'm Leslie, and welcome back. If this is your first time here, I'm really glad you're joining us. For me, it took years of trial and error. I healed for years. I was noticing patterns, and I was trying to understand what was happening on the subtle planes because I couldn't figure out why I still felt pulled backward. And this was definitely more of an internal thing because I had moved thousands of miles from my family and friends. How could their thoughts and assumptions and old perceptions still affect me? Here's what to look out for if you're still not fully integrated. If you feel parts of yourself are scattered, or if you're unable to maintain your center around certain people or places or conversations, that's a sign. Triggers are a huge one. What is triggering you is the ultimate identifier. So if you're still learning how to work through triggers, I have a 2-part series on how to manage and alchemize them. But sometimes it's not even external. Sometimes you are still internally identifying with an old version of yourself, and it's just out of habit. The familiar identity can lure you back in, making you think that you're still a part of its energy. And it's rare for the people you've known the longest to really see who you are now, because most are still interacting with the version of you that they're used to. It's based on old memories. It's based on the history they've had with you. And their assumptions can influence your energy, for sure, especially if you're unaware of it, especially if you are dimming your energy around them to fit in, especially if you are a people pleaser, especially if you're feeling really confused and not really standing in where you truly are, not where you've been. So it can keep you stuck between versions of yourself. And it's okay to let go. It's okay to decline an invitation. It's okay to be confident in who you are now. It's okay to be the only one not doing something everyone else is doing. You're going to ruffle some feathers for a while. It's okay not to take people's misconceptions personally as well. What's happening is you're keeping your energy clear from old timelines, old stories. And as the awakened one, you don't need to correct someone all the time because we're not here to change anyone else. Initially, it's going to feel like a deep disconnection, that there's nothing you can say or explain that's going to suddenly make them realize you've changed, because it's not about convincing them, and it's not you. It's their perception that hasn't caught up yet. And it's this in-between space where everything feels unfamiliar. You're not sure if you're actually making progress. You don't really feel like you've reaped any rewards. There's nothing besides the fact that you're no longer attuned to the old reality that you can really say you've brought forward. So it is this in-between unfamiliar space, but it's because there's so many energetic cords that are possibly still active. This is why we value peace and solitude more than stimulation, because we've been in that noise so long. And sometimes we have to realize that what we're absorbing is not even real either. They're just like echoes of that loud noise. And you don't know, like eventually it's going to be that last little echo and then it's done and it's quiet and it stops. And the influence is no longer able to get even near your field. And the biggest insight I can share is that this isn't a setback. It's actually proof that you've evolved. If you hadn't made real internal changes, you wouldn't even be facing this part of the journey. Because everyone who truly awakens meets this particular situation, meets this moment. They're in this chapter, and it's just a chapter. And it's not just about telling the universe what you want. It's also about telling it what you don't want. Every time you say no to something that doesn't feel like the new you, every time you act from your awakened self instead of the old programs, you're actively chiseling away at what you don't want. Nope, chisel, it's done, it breaks off. Because the old reality, it can't hold on forever. Eventually, your new timeline will make space for the new version of you to step in. And yes, you can expect shadow work. It will continue to rise at times because the memories and the old identities and the remnants of who you once were, a lot of it can disintegrate, but a lot of it has to be faced and consciously released. What matters is that you stay firm in your boundaries and you stay excited about who you're becoming. This is your personal journey. You don't need anyone's approval or validation. You only need your own devotion to your path. And you will attract more of what you truly desire when you choose the version of you that your soul has been guiding you toward all along. Something that can really help you with this is a 2-part series I made here on YouTube on how to stay consistent and successful with your bhakti, your spiritual practices. If you're trying to build your devotion, if you're trying to build this consistency where you're prioritizing what you know you should be doing, I'll leave it linked for you below. It's just 2 videos, and I definitely help out with how you can stay consistent with your practices. And if you're into yoga or Qi Gong, sign up below to join my 4-day energy training quest. You'll learn how to work with your own energy and strengthen your energy field through these free Qi Gong classes, and you can access them right away. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.